E, can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. I'm gonna let everyone in here on the Zoom side.
I might just have make an example out of somebody in here. That's like the football coaches that throw somebody out of the first team. You like cut somebody right there, but they don't do it when it's the star. Even wait till the practice team guy comes in.
Set the tone. Alrighty, whenever you're ready.
We got mics. We got mics.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Ready to roll this year?
Ready to roll. Already started.
Um, just kind of overall, obviously, a different look of this roster. At this point, do you have a vision of what you kind of want everything to look like? Or is this at this early part with new faces, new pieces, getting used to each other? Is it kind of a little bit of a work in progress and seeing what people do well and what people work well together?
Both is the short answer. Definitely a work in progress. That's what training camp is for. I think probably every year that's true, but we have maybe more new faces than normal. We've obviously had continuity for a while here. We still have some, but there's new faces, and kind of the vision around how we play is defensively. I think we should be good very early. We've got good defensive players. We don't have to make an overhaul on that end of the floor. Offensively, is going to need a little bit more changing and tweaking, but with the pieces we've added, I think the vision is a little bit more motion, a little bit more movement, a little bit more off the ball. But that takes time and chemistry. To do all that, you got to be a really good passing team, a really good screening team. You got to be a smart team. So that's always going to be a work in progress, and I think it's exciting though. I think our players are enjoying it. I think it's how they want to play, and we have to maximize the talent at our disposal and the people on this roster. And so that work starts now, or started, as they started rolling into town a couple weeks ago.
What are your first steps to get that strategy in place? Do you start on the defensive end? Some coaches are different. Some coaches start, hey, let's get all of our offensive things in and then iron out with the defense. Which way are you going to go with that in terms of implementation?
I would say we've been doing both. We'll do both every day. Defensively, it's probably more rules early on. It's more cut and dry. Offensively, you're trying to teach feel and flow and spacing. I think we have to start with, what does great spacing look like? What does pace look like? It's really hard to up your pace later if you don't set a good tone early in camp and at the start of the season. And part of that's being in great shape. So that's also what camp is for. But no, both sides of the ball. Defensively, we just got to get everybody on the same page, know our base rules, know our terminology. And offensively, we got to start learning how to play with each other.
When you look at the point guard position, I know you've played with multiple point guards in the past and can do that. But how are you looking at kind of managing that position? And would you say Slim is your primary point guard as much as that exists in what you want to do?
Yes, I do view our roster that way, with Slim, stepping into that role more full time. I think we have players that allow us to move her around as well, and don't have, it doesn't have to be an all the time thing. Julie can obviously play the point. Ariel is comfortable handling the ball. She did it with USA. She did it a little bit for us last year. And then other people that are here too. Dee Richards, Kaylin Trong. I think we'll use a lot of guards as kind of lead ball handlers, but Slim is definitely the top among those. Good morning.
When you look at Ariel and Maisha, other than this that it's been your longest, how do you look to them as the being of the leaders taking this team in a different direction?
I think they're in a real sweet spot in their careers where they've got enough experience under their belts, that they know the league, they know how we want to do things, they know what it takes to win. But they're also physically in a good spot. They've both kind of battled some things, and they should be right kind of in their physical and mental prime. It should be kind of overlapping at the same time right now. So, just being tone setters every day for how we work and how we compete. And neither one is the well, Maisha's sometimes the loudest one in the room. But you know, Ariel's never usually the loudest one in the gym, but when she speaks, people listen because she's thoughtful and she backs it up with her actions. So that's what we want them to be, leaders who speak to what we want to do, but come and deliver every day.
Tennis match prepared. With obviously Elena and Tosh not being a part of this year, who have you identified as kind of going to be the leaders and going to guide this team forward in kind of maybe not the same leadership roles, but new in their own way leadership roles this year?
The short answer is it's gonna be a lot of people. You know, those ones that were here, Tosh, Elena, Christy, Tiana, had to grow into those roles as well. And so it's really hard to force it. I try to set people up for success. Ariel and Slim and Shakira is kind of the core group that's been here, but then you bring in people like Steph Dolson, who really know the league. They've won a championship. She is not afraid to speak up. Other people, Carly Samuelson, Julie Van Loo, experienced players who are about the right things. So I don't think it's about one or two people, you know, dominating the room or being the loudest. It's going to be a collective, and you know, can we walk the walk of what we're saying, and can we do it together? So it's an open forum for everybody to speak up when it's the right time. And those ones that have been here and are key pieces of our team, I'll certainly put that responsibility on them.
Building off of that question, 2 of your 3 top scorers from last year are playing with you this year. Is there anyone right now you envision making, or if you want, you envision making up that score this season?
Honestly, like I think when we look back at the stats from last year, it's a little bit tricky because Shakira goes down when she does and misses so many games. Ariel missed so many games. You know, I expect them both to see a jump probably from last year. Carly is going to give us a real shooting threat, Carly Samuelson. And then there's going to be an opportunity. You know, this is a team, we've said it from kind of once the roster was set and we started messaging and talking with everybody, the theme has been competing. So minutes and involvement in the offense and everything is there for the taking for people that want to step up and earn it. Nothing's been promised to anybody on the roster. And, you know, we hope a lot of people make a jump and a growth. But it's going to be earned. Hello.
2 for you, if that's okay. People with Shakira, how have you seen her progression in dealing with the rehab and getting back on the floor? And how do you envision her and Aaliyah potentially playing together on the floor, especially being so young?
Sometimes when you have an injury like she had earlier in your career, you know, it's kind of a devastating thing. It's not something that Shakira had to go through before, but it also forces you to figure some things out about yourself. You got a lot of time kind of alone with your thoughts where you can't go play basketball. And she's had to make choices to grow up and meet her rehab head on. I think it's been a huge growth in her maturity and her professionalism through the offseason, having to come in every day, be in here early, you know, get your body moving, eat breakfast, do all your rehab, get in the weight room. And then as we got on the court, I mean, those are long days. She really had to be on top of herself. And I think that sets her up exceptionally well for the future. You know, it's other people on our team, Brittany Sykes went through it when she was, you know, hurt in college, and it forces you to figure some things out about yourself. And it's really that growth, that maturity is going to allow her to be the player that we think she's capable of being. So, even though, you know, last year she came in healthy and didn't have any of the stuff she's had to deal with this offseason, I think we're getting a more ready Shakira now, at least from a mentals perspective. And the physical doesn't look too bad right now either. Her and Aaliyah, probably 2 players that, you know, that's a real mobile athletic post combo. I think the defensive fit's going to be a cinch from very early on. They can both move their feet. They're both aggressive. They both rebound the ball. Offensively, you know, I think we still see a lot of growth for both of them. Aaliyah's already, I think, had to answer between the draft and now a lot of questions about her own shooting. You know, that's going to be a long-term development plan. She does a lot of things that we value offensively. She can pass the ball. She can drive the ball. She understands spacing and timing and movement. So that's just going to be chemistry for the 2 of them learning to play off each other, play with each other, and with our other bigs.
For yourself with this, being your second year, how have you seen your own leadership grow over this offseason and as you get set for now your second training camp? Being in charge, implementing what you want to do, continuing that view and that vision that you have with this organization.
I think when every season ends, and certainly throughout the season, but when the season ends, you got to take a good hard look in the mirror and ask if you've done everything you can to put your team in the best position to succeed. And we do that every year, no matter how the season ends. I think there are certain things we value here in terms of our culture, accountability, being selfless, trying to elevate the people around us. And I had to think about through the off season, was I doing everything I could to create the culture that enables that? So, I think as we go into this season, making sure I am in charge of what our standards are and empowering our players then to hold those standards. Because I think we have people that are about the right things. So, some things are real simple. How do we make sure everybody's on time and prepared the way they need to be prepared? Other things are just looking at how am I putting the players in the best position to succeed on the court? Am I studying and learning and talking to people about different things we can do, different learning styles, how we help players? But really my primary job I feel going into the season is to make sure that our culture, one, that we had the right people, which I think we've done, and two, do we set the standards for how we act towards each other and to the outside world, both on and off the court?
Just you've been a part of that, the women's game for so long, and just to see the growth and the excitement, especially coming off this college season, you've got the game with Capital One. Just what are your thoughts overall on what's going on and this? I know there's been interest for a while, but this seems like a next level from a lot of eyes that may have not been on the game before.
Absolutely. I mean, I think everybody that's been in the league a long time has been waiting for this and excited for this and doing a lot of work to try to make this happen. You don't quite know how the explosion is going to happen. I think we're in a great time that those players now come into our league. Caitlin is, a game changer from that side of things. The public attention, she's a game changer on the court too, but from the attention that's now coming to our league, I think we all feel, at least I do, that this should be a Big Ten. There should be room for everybody to get on board and follow this league. I was talking with somebody, I was like, it's, a little bit, I think the feeling in the league of like when you have a favorite band that's only a handful of people know about and then they blow up and you get to feel a little protective of this thing that you've tried to create. But this is why we poured so much time and heart and soul into it, is you want to see it do well. You want to see our players benefit. You want to see fans have a great experience. So I think it's great. I think we have something special. We've known it for a long time, and now we get to showcase it to the world. No, I will not be discussing my musical taste. I'm gonna say. Morning. We said one yesterday with our team. I stole it from my 49ers, which is no block, no rock. We got to be a great screening team. That's everything. Everybody from our guards to our bigs. Steph Dolson we're bringing in is, I think, long been considered one of the best screeners in our league. She does it in a million ways that aren't seen. Shakira is going to get better and better, partly because she's such a threat and so quick getting out of them. Maisha, Aaliyah, Queen, Emily Angsler, the whole group that we have has to be great screeners. Screening is a selfless act that can really benefit you if you do a good job of it. It's the easiest way to get yourself open instead of great screen. So like I said before, trying to do a little bit, not all of it on the ball, trying to do a little bit more off the ball, and hopefully we can find the right balance. Hit somebody.
Eric, you touched on Slim a little bit earlier, but I kind of wanted to circle back a little bit. In two parts. From the point guard perspective, what kind of traits do you want to see from her when she's in that role, and both overall with more responsibilities, like you said, so many differences of this roster from last year, just her overall game. Also, what kind of step does she need to take? Would you like to see her take going forward, considering it will be a bigger role than last year?
What gives me confidence about it, I think she has really embraced the mental challenge of it, starting with how she leads herself, mentally and emotionally, growing her own learning of the game. I think she really committed to that as we went through the season last year and into this off season. I'll let her speak about that more when she chooses to, but it's a bit different. I think she's always been somebody that plays in like explosive bursts. And, for us to play with pace, she's got to be able to keep a steady pace all the time. That's been something we're talking about, get the outlet, map the floor quickly, keep our tempo, and find the right balance of attacking and being aggressive and knowing how to facilitate and set up your teammates. It's been like a joking, not joking, like we've been on her about her passing. She's a very willing passer, but, passing accuracy in different ways. There's certain passes she throws really well and other ones she needs to work on. So I say this all openly because she's very much embracing the challenge of that role. So it's nothing that, I haven't already talked about with her several times, but she wants it. She's hungry for it. She's hungry. That's how she sees herself, I think, as a player. It's what she's done overseas. It's what she did for us a lot last year. And not having to be too big of a weight. Like, she's still got to go be the aggressive player she is. It's what makes her special.
Shannon from Zoom. I know you said the offense is still kind of, you're figuring stuff out, but when I look at that roster, one thing that jumps out to me is the number of different 3-point shooters you guys have on there. How much do you think 3-point shooting is going to be, a strength for you guys, and how do you kind of approach maximizing all of those different shooters and making sure that they get their touches?
It has to be. I think it's very obvious if you look at the last several years of our league, the NBA, but even just within our league, that you have to be a very good 3-point shooting team to win a championship. And so it's intentional, the people we went and got. It's hard to be a one-trick pony. I mean, you can't just be a spot-up 3-point shooter and survive in our league. You have to be able to do more than that. But, it's the shooting and it's the threat of shooting. We have to maximize and set up our shooters to be successful so that it creates opening and space for everybody else. It has to be a two-way street where we put pressure on the rim and we get open threes. Generating catch and shoot threes is a big deal for us. It's something that's probably been underdone, underdeveloped through the league, and certainly by us. I think that's what great offense looks like, because that means you have the defense in rotation. So screen for our shooters, use our shooters as screeners, play with great space, attack a scramble defense. And, I think we came in just under 25 3-point attempts a game last year, and I'd definitely like to be over that number.
Alexa?
Hey, Eric, hope you're doing well. Kind of a 2-part question. First, just given all the new faces and just kind of this new chapter for the organization, how do you kind of view the longer term goals of this team for this year, and what, you want to see come August and September? Kind of related to that, you've touched on a few different things, but is there a primary, overarching question that is on your mind of something that needs to be answered either in training camp or just all season long? It could be, how the new pieces come together, the offensive stuff you talked about, anything in particular?
First part was about
Long term, obviously.
Oh yeah,
long term. Gotcha. So
the longer term goals for this season.
I think one big goal that we have collectively is how well can we grow our thinking and our reading of the game, to play the style we are envisioning playing. Like I said before, you got to be good passers. You got to read defense. You got to have chemistry with each other. And it gets really difficult when you start playing games and you don't have a lot of practice days. A little bit different this year is that we get this training camp and we know we get a little chunk of time later in the Olympic break, but that's a long ways away. And so we're a little younger. Like you said, we've got new faces, so we have to make a conscious effort, players and staff alike, to think about when we plan practice and we go on the court, are the things that we say we're valuing and pushing, does that line up with the things we're doing and practicing? So I'm comfortable with it being maybe a little awkward and ugly for a while as you try to figure out timing and spacing and who should screen for who and when they should do it. But I think it's the route to, a next step for us in our development. Did I forget a part of the question?
I think.
Oh, my overarching question.
Yeah, that works.
One, I mean, I want to see who steps up and, grabs a role on this team. That's cool. We probably have more questions about the actual roster going into camp than we have in some other years. But the second one is, can we stay committed to, like I said before, growing our thinking, our understanding of the game? And can we, stay committed to being just a real tight knit unit? Everybody being selfless and elevating the people around them. I think that's a question for every coach every year, but we've said we want to do it, and that's a priority for us. So we have to stick at it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
That's it. All right.
How are you? Thank you.
They gonna put that logo on everything. Yeah. 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 You good to go? All right, yeah.
Alright, okay, cool. Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
What has just been this vibe and the feel out there, as you guys done cranking, just with, different roster, different
Yeah.
faces, different voices, so many things that are, shifted a little bit, so I'm just curious, how's it felt these first couple days?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's new. Can't get past that and act like it's not a thing. It is a thing. But I'm enjoying it. I think we're all enjoying it, getting to know each other and figuring out how to play together. I mean, you hear a ton of like chatter, and it's because we're trying to figure out like how to play together. But I think the energy is insane. Our competitiveness level, our pace right now, I'm really enjoying it, and it's moving. Yeah.
Hey, Aaron.
What's up? Morning.
What has been the biggest learning factor that you're going to bring into this season because of the coaching experience that you had at Michigan? I was really happy to see you in that role, but what did you learn most about that, and what are you going to bring here about?
From a player's perspective on the court, it's definitely slowed down the pace. I think so many times we try to fix things with speeding up, and a better way to fix things is to slow down. Yeah.
Ariel, kind of building off of that, you talked a little bit about leadership and coming from Michigan and that sort of thing. Mike mentioned in free agency, he sees you and Kira as kind of emerging leaders for this group. So just curious, when it comes to Kira, how you've seen her kind of grow as a leader and how you think her leadership style complements yours.
Yeah. Me and Kira are what I would call yin and yang. She's more of the rah-rah, in your face, XYZ. And I'm probably more of like a tap on the shoulder, like, hey, you good? Type thing. But I think obviously we're still figuring that out for each other because last year she was still pretty new in this league. And I think what she's had to endure kind of over the offseason has really helped mature her in a lot of different ways, that she has more confidence and trust in herself in different ways that I probably haven't seen from her. So I'm excited for her about that. But obviously we still have to figure that piece out. As far as like our leadership roles last year, neither one of us probably played a big portion of the season. So coming into this year, that's still something that we're going to have to figure out and kind of grow and learn together. Yeah, for sure. Morning.
You and Mike that said you've been here long. Just what has the conversation been with Eric in terms of how to not only one tap into your potential even more, what you've done so far, but more importantly, how you set the tone on the court each and every night.
Yeah, this is gonna sound crazy, but you just gotta do it. You know, you can't hold back. I think a lot of the times when you get into a season or a group of new people, you want to be like the nice guy. You want to be like, oh, like, no, like that's fine. Like I think actually intentionally like pushing everybody every single day, I think is gonna be really important for setting the tone.
Aaron,
What's up?
how do you feel going into this season? In the past, you had overseas commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, took a year off. This year, you were at Michigan, so I
Mhm.
imagine you're still involved around the game and active. But how
Mhm.
was that maybe compared to your preparation?
Yeah, it's definitely different. I definitely had to find a balance between working myself out, working out with players, and different things that I was able to kind of help out with up there. But I feel really good. I'm healthy. I'm excited. I'm healthy. Which is my favorite thing about coming into the season. I feel pretty good. Yeah.
Phil,
Yep.
when I saw you, I think it was January maybe, in Detroit.
Ah, yes.
And I asked what's your perspective from the coaching standpoint, and if you have a newfound, not necessarily respect, but the outlook that you have as a player now that you're in that role.
Hmm.
And I know you touched on it a bit, but does that experience allow you to have those tough, uncomfortable conversations, not just with yourself, with your teammates, but as well to the coaching staff? Things
Mhm.
that you're seeing that you may want to adjust going through the season, that they might not be seeing because they're not in it on the floor.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to say yes, but I don't know yet. Like, I don't really know how much my coaching experience is going to help me throughout the season. I think the biggest thing that I've seen is like the game has slowed down more because I've had to watch it a ton. But as far as like making different adjustments within games and being able to see those things quicker, I think it will be able to help me, and I hope it does. But I really just don't know yet.
With your leadership, your voice, as you mentioned, you're kind of like the pulls one aside, talking that. Has coaching allowed you to find that voice and be more vocal in the moment and not pulling someone to the side, but just the accountability as you mentioned, like we've got to do it.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely coaching at Michigan, I had to figure out what the coaches were basically helping me and like talking to me about was like my coaching voice, like picking and choosing my spots. I was pretty much like the fifth assistant or the fourth assistant at that point. So being able to know like, hey, this kid can't handle this much right now. Like knowing like, hey, make sure you backdoor cut. Like some like finding like my quick pockets and moments to be able to hold our players accountable, but also in the same breath, making sure that they know that like we're encouraging them in the same sense. And I definitely think that's going to help me with our team this year and being able to not be afraid to make that quick yell or that quick call. Yeah.
And coaching in the Big Ten, obviously saw Caitlin Clark.
Mhm.
And
Sure did.
her
Yeah.
But with that knowledge of scouting
Mhm.
on her, and then now having to face her
Mhm.
physically, what do you think that's going to feel like, and what kinds of things are you going to bring
Mhm.
into the game because of it?
Yeah, super excited for all the rookies that are coming into the league. I think they've done a phenomenal job of pushing their stories, pushing their brands, and pushing the league as well. I know a lot of times they probably hear the, oh, we can't wait to do X, Y, Z. Like obviously, like we're competitors, at the end of the day. So when we play against you, yeah, sharks in the water type thing. But more than happy for them and what they've built personally and what they're bringing to the league. Obviously playing Caitlin, she can shoot the ball extremely well. So you're not going under on anything, definitely going to go over on everything, and just try to make her life hard. It's not like she's not going to make a few. She's a great shooter. But got to get over screens, make her pass the ball, normal stuff. Yeah.
Ari, what's been your reaction to just what's been going on with, the league and like you just mentioned, the rookies and even, with the aces? You've been in this league, but I'm sure you yourself, you just kind of sit back for a second and be like, damn, like a lot of people are really paying some extra attention now. What kind of like pride do you take as being a part of that?
Yeah, I take huge pride in it. Every player who has played in this who's played in this league has some part in it, whether your part is big or small, and I don't take that lightly. I do everything I can to represent the W in the best way that I can, the best light that I can. It's been insane watching women's sports grow as a whole. I mean, I just went to the Spirit game the other day and just kind of talking to a few of their people and how they argue with their CBA. We have our CBA. Like, there's just so many things that we learn from each other as women in sport. And so for the world to be catching up and catching on, it's pretty cool. Are they late? Yes, it's okay. They're here. So it's exciting though. I'm really excited about it.
real quick, just with all these new faces that we've talked about, what are kind of some of the things that you guys do maybe off the court to, you know, have everybody start to build that camaraderie and
Mhm.
maybe stuff off the court leads to that on the court as well?
Yeah, I mean the basic stuff like dinner, game night, just get to know people. We obviously hadn't had a ton of time together yet. But just finding different ways to kind of get to know each other, even if it is like, oh, so and so is in the ice bath, I'll get in the ice bath with them today. Just to be able to like have those little conversations and get to know people for who they are and like their core.
Hey, Dave, come back up.
What's up?
I wanted to ask about Eric.
Mhm.
We always ask him about your guys' growth and things like that. But what I know it's still early, but
Mhm.
what have you noticed about him going into second year, being at the helm?
Mhm.
From someone who's seen him go from
Right.
assistant
Mhm.
to all the way to this point now.
Yeah, even from day one when I walked back in the gym, maybe like 2 weeks ago, I just saw his confidence was just at a different level. And it's not to say that he wasn't confident before, but the way that he, I don't know if dictates is the word, or the way that he structures our practices, the way that we are structured in our day to day now is just smoother. It's different. And so I would say obviously like X's and O's, we haven't played a game yet. So like I don't really know, you know. But as far as like structure, I can already see a difference. And just his confidence level and his ability to say what he wants and mean it from the jump. Yeah.
Just looking at this roster, you know, I asked Eric about this too. Looks like you guys got a lot of 3-point shooters.
Mhm.
You
That's
know,
how they like
what
it.
do you see when you look at that roster and how exciting is it for you to have all those shooters, you know,
Yeah.
with you, and what does that kind of open up for you?
Yeah, ever since I stepped foot here, that's pretty much what Coach T, E have been about, making sure we got shooters on the perimeter. So it's really exciting this year because we probably have more than we've had in a little while. And so for me, it's super exciting because it opens our floor up and it allows some of our players that are able to get to the rim. It'll give them more opportunity to get there. I won't say with ease, but it'll open up our offense more.
With Candace Parker announcing her
Mhm.
retirement, I mean, you have some commonalities there with USA Basketball,
Mhm.
obviously in the W. But what comments do you have
Yeah.
about her long tenured career?
Yeah, Candace is a legend in her own right. I mean, when you talk about women's basketball and the landscape that it is today and the map that she was able to put, you know, women's basketball on. I mean, Candace is the first rookie that came this league and like really shook it up in her first year. Definitely a legend, and praises and flowers and everything to her because she's the reason like our AU team had the Tennessee colors, and it was only because I mean, you know, like we all know who Candace Parker is and what she's done for this league. Obviously she went out the way that she wanted to, and she's done everything in this game. She doesn't owe anybody anything. And so I'm thankful to have played against her, played with her, I think on one all-star team. But she's done a tremendous job of putting women's sports on the map, women's basketball on the map, and representing the W in its highest light.
We'll go to Brad on Zoom.
Yes, hi, Ariel. With all the crazy amount of the talents in training camp and everyone's starting to get the gelling and the chemistry, how do you feel the veterans on your team are going to mentor all the fresh faces?
We're just gonna have to do it. I mean, we have a lot of new faces. As my man's over here said earlier, me and Maya are probably the longest tenured players on this team, which is actually insane to even think or say. But we're just gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to figure it out together. Obviously, there's gonna be bumps in the road. Some days gonna be tougher than others. We're just gonna have to handle the heat together and make sure we're doing everything we can to make sure everybody's good on any given day.
Ariel, I have one.
Yep.
With this being a new team, new faces, obviously it's gonna be a different year from maybe what you guys experienced in the past.
Mhm.
What most excites you about maybe some of the challenges you guys are gonna face this year, and how are you guys gonna find ways to overcome those?
What excites me the most? Probably that I think we'll be able to play through anything. I think this is the type of team that even we've had some slip ups in, I mean, the day and a half we played pickup a few days ago, just getting together. Our ability to have kind of like quick and concise communication of like, yo, try to backdoor right there, or yo, try to do this right there. I think is important, and I think it will really help us in our pace. Like we're able to run and push the ball in a way that we haven't had the opportunity to in a couple of years. So I'm excited about that too.
Thank you. Aaron.
Yep, all good. Sweet. Yep, thank you guys.
What are some of the things that you kind of have to keep in the forefront of kind of adjusting and tweaking your game with those new responsibilities?
Well, I'll say this, like, there hasn't been like a conversation or like a Slim, these are your responsibilities, right? Even last year, I didn't know last year was gonna be last year. I just kind of walked into that, role. But now this year, obviously, it's very, very noticeable that okay, Slim's gonna be ball handler, point guard, if you want to put it on that label. I actually want to change that mindset. Not so much a point guard, but I'm just a ball distributor, right? Because I feel like for me in the past, when I've tried to label myself as a point guard, I stopped being me. I stopped doing what Slim does. And that's just affect the game in any positive way possible, right? Whether it's stealing the ball, whether it's shooting, whether it's scoring. As a point guard, I just kept thinking like point guards don't go score. Point guard, I'm so worried about getting the ball to other people, and it's like you were doing the same exact thing when you were just Slim. So for me, it's just keeping the mindset this year. It's like, okay, yes, you are a majority ball handler in this game, but you still got to be able to play your game, because I've also realized that when I don't play my game, I'm hurting my team. The things that I can do to help the team and get us someone on the board is doing what I do best, and that's disrupting the other team's offense, scoring the ball, pushing the ball in transition, pushing tempo. And now, I mean, if you want to add any responsibility to it, it's just finding our shooters, being able to get to the paint, staying poised. And I think a lot of my responsibilities are very much outside of the physical. Like my responsibilities is more so make sure the team stays together, making sure that, all of our personalities are in a line to mesh with each other. And I think Coach T and everybody who was involved in getting this team together for training camp did a tremendous job of the personalities that we have on this team and the hunger that we have on this team, the youth we have on this team. You can do a lot with that. I think that's really dangerous than having a whole team of vets. Like you want your few vets here, but like having a team full of youthful kids that just want to get to it and work every day. That's a hell of an easy job to lead, and I think for me, it's just being able to step into those shoes and just understand that I have the support behind me. I've done the work before getting here, and just ready to go. Yeah.
So what kind of role did you have overseas in that distribution role? And how are you carrying that over to this team?
Yeah, it's crazy because I was just talking to one of my friends about how I really was prepared for this season. I was really lucky. I was really blessed to be in a position in Poland where I was the second oldest on my team. I had about 20, like not 20, I had about 4 or 5 24-year-olds or younger. I think the next age from me being 30 was 26, and the oldest was 34. So having that preparation and being around these, younger like kids, and I hate calling them kids because it's like we're all adults, but they had such a youthfulness about them that I had to realize like, okay, you can't yell at them. You can't yell at them the way you would yell at my peer that we're same age or same years. They understand I'm yelling, but it's what I'm saying, not how I'm saying it. But you can't really tell somebody how to listen to your voice, right? That's just how they feel. I can't take that away from them. So I think just being able to have those trial and errors overseas has really, really helped me to when I come here, because we've had moments in the weeks before camp started, and I'm like, but shout out to Coach Ashley. She'll come over. She'll be like, hey, like this is what we talked about overseas. How do you reach your audience without losing your poise? And I think that's the biggest thing for me is just keeping that poise. And yes, I'm a firecracker and I can get, really, really hot and upset, but I had to realize really quick that just because I can do that and I can get back to playing, my teammates might not can. So I don't want to be that person that's like pulling away from our team when I'm just trying to pour in.
Hey, Slim, good to see you.
What's up?
I know Coach Christie is over in Phoenix now, but now you got Coach Ariel coming off her stint with Michigan.
Yeah.
Have you noticed anything different from her, whether it's on the court, leadership wise?
Yeah, I mean, A actually says things more. I think her, being a coach, it's actually helped her. And let me say this before I say that comment. A is more than capable, right? More than capable of speaking up, more than capable of talking. But it's like A is one of those voices when she talks, it's like, oh, okay. Like everybody needs to tighten up, or what she's saying holds so much value because she just, is in the background. She does her job, she does her work. But I think since becoming a coach, A is more willing to speak up. And it's not like, the same voices all the time. Like we get a little bit of A now. So I'm really excited about that. I'm happy about that, that growth in her.
Got two parts. So, used to be super number 8 for you.
Yes.
You coming into camp, you got some young guards, Chiquita, Julie. Just how have you been that year one for them? What tidbits have you given to them to kind of impress not only coach but you guys as leaders, making themselves in this league for the team potential?
Yeah. The biggest thing I told them, we were sitting in the locker room the other day, and I was like, if you guys have any questions or any concerns, like, and they did not hesitate, which you don't really see that, but like I'm happy, that, and they asked me, what can we do? What can we expect? Kind of thing. And I just told them the biggest thing when you go into a camp, right? And you go into a camp where players are pretty much established, and there's probably like 3-4 spots, if we're being real, on the roster. And I just told them, one, remember why you got drafted. Because I feel like a lot of rookies or a lot of players come into the league and they try to do things outside of their wheelhouse. You got drafted for a reason. Do those things. Obviously, within the team dynamic, right? You got to learn how to become a player and part of a new, a new setup. But at the same time, if you shoot the ball really well, you should be shooting the hell out of the ball in training camp. So I told him, like, you look within yourself, look in the mirror, you know what you got drafted for. If you don't, you better ask quick. Better ask quick. But you should know, what your strong suits are. And literally, and I was like, and a cheat code is you go into a camp or you go into a team, find what they're missing and be that person. And I mean, that's usually the 2 bits of advice I usually give like rookies when they ask, because that's one thing that could do, like, how do I separate myself? Figure out what they're lacking and provide that. Be a voice on the court. Get under if you're a point guard, get under the point guard of that team. Pick their brain until they say, leave me the hell alone. Like, but things like that, like little things to make you noticeable. If you're not seen, you're not heard, then you don't get a team. It's as simple as that. So yeah, those are the advice I had given them.
And then my last one is obviously we all know you're coming from Syracuse. The Aisha Fair.
Yeah.
The third time. Just is it any way that you reached out to her, just give her advice as she's into this league, especially that draft by Vegas?
Yeah.
Just what message did you give to her?
Man, I texted her and I basically told her on draft night, because we talked a few times before then, but definitely after the season was over and everything and she was about to get drafted, I just made sure I texted her and I just told her, like, hey, she's the type of kid where it's like she's like, on to the next, like, let's get it. And I'm like, that's cool, but you just did an amazing feat in college, right? Like 3rd all time. And then, as a also a Cuse graduate, it's like I'm really proud that light is shined back on Cuse, even if it's for a moment. But it's like, D, I get you want to get drafted, I get you want to go be great, but enjoy the fact that you just did something that not a lot of people are going to touch or think about in college. 3rd all time. That is some serious buckets, and I think that was my biggest thing, trying to get her to understand. It's like, celebrate those small moments because they eventually add up to the big ones. And then that way, say if a big one doesn't come when you wanted to, but you've celebrated the process up to that point, it doesn't look like it's a waste of time. Like it looks like, okay, I've just reached another door that I gotta kick down. So that was one of the bits of advice I gave her. Just celebrate those small moments and just enjoy it. Enjoy it. What's up? Don't make me cry this year. I waited to tell you this.
I want to ask about the veterans. On this team.
Yeah.
What's the conversations been like with you guys all kind of coming together?
Yeah.
Seeing who's gonna be the leaders on this team.
Mhm.
The team forward, but Ariel has been here for a while. Steph has been leading for a long time.
Mhm.
Yourself, Shakira. What are those conversations like?
I think for sure one of the biggest things, like it's kind of been unspoken, but like we really try to do it in practice, is just on to the next and just leaving all the negative things. Like if something happens that we don't like, just literally moving on to the next one. The coaches are preaching that. They're making sure they're pushing us in practice. Say a foul doesn't get called or something, our first thing should not be to respond negatively to like the refs or to like, oh my God, like throwing our hands up and stuff like that. All that adds up. Man, I think that's a really big point of emphasis this year. Is like, what kind of team are we going to want to be? Like, are we going to be the complaining team, or are we going to be the team that it does not matter? Are we going to be the team that when teams come to play, they like, dang, we got to play Washington. Like, we know they're going to go hard. We want to be that team where we kind of put some deflating feelings in a team before they come play us. But we sit in the locker room or like during practice, like 2 or 3 of us, so coop together, and we'll talk about certain things that we see, certain things we want to fix. And it's been really smooth. I think it's really clutch that we have the group that we have in the veteran side.
Just to follow that, where has that kind of come from, if you will?
What do you mean?
Is it from your experience? Is it something that you think that maybe with this balance of the roster that you need to focus on? Like, just where did that idea, or is it something you just always wanted to do?
Ideal of what, like in the sense of just
Like the on to the next. Like,
on to the next. I mean, I think it's just from past experiences where we realized that harping at the ref or staying on a bad call or a bad possession has not done any good for us. So I think it's one of those things was like, are you going to keep doing the same thing and are you going to be upset that you're getting the same results, or let's try something new and see how that works out. So I think for us individually, everybody has a thing with like no calls being made or stuff like that. So as a collective, we've all just made that agreement like, hey, we all realize that we are pretty bad when it comes to responding to negative events. So let's fix that this year. Let's not be that team. Yeah. We good?
Yeah.
Hey, let's get it. All righty. See you guys in like what, 2 weeks?
Hey,
Hi,
how are you?
good, how you doing?
Good. I think we're gonna get rolling. Probably just not hold the mic in my hand. We've talked a couple times, about the long journey of the last year and all these things. But, as you come into this year, I'm curious, what do you want to show this year? What kind of player do you want to be as, you continue your growth? And I know it's been weird off season, a weird year last year, but who do you want to show this year? Or what do you want to show this year?
I want to show that I can be the best player on a team, but also make the people around me better. I think the two kind of get intertwined. Some people think that just being the best player, you don't have to be a leader, or, you don't have to really come in and do any extra. It's just showing up and giving your buckets, and then that should be enough. And that's not what I want as a player. That's not what I want for a team. I don't think it works. So I just want to be able to show that, caring about your team can get you a little bit further than focusing on yourself. So.
Sure.
Hey, morning. Good.
Eric was in here earlier talking about you and Leah and how you guys
should be able to work really well defensively
Mhm.
together and be able to grow together as well offensively.
Yeah.
What have the conversations been like between you and Leah so far? How have you been a good mentor for her, and what's the relationship like so far?
Well, it's only been a few days, so I'm not the type to force anything. Naturally, we've been, having great chemistry. Naturally when we're in our, sets together, it just really flows really smooth. So I'm really excited for just her being at the level that she is already and coming in and just making an impact. She has a lot of confidence, and I think she's a super underrated player. I'm super glad that we got her in the draft. And I'm just excited to see what we can do together. I think defensively we're like-minded, and offensively we can definitely play off each other. So, I'm excited about that.
Hey, Shakira.
Hi, good morning.
On the flip side of that, with Steph Dolson's return to DC, and obviously she understands the assignment
Yeah,
in terms of philosophy and culture
yeah.
that the Tebows have created here in DC. What have you learned from her, or what have you gleaned from her experience being here previously?
Um, yeah, Steph just brings a different mindset, more of a calming spirit, more of someone who can not only orchestrate things like offensively, but just as a leader as well. I think she's aware of like the role that she can have with, just leading a young group. And I think she's really vocal with that. And we're hoping that her being back will, ring another championship, with me and her together. So, I'm excited to play with Steph and that dynamic of, pick and pop player with someone who can also, allow me to guard the four, play offensively that way. So I'm excited. Hi.
Eric earlier, you mentioned the maturity and your growth,
Mhm.
dealing with rehab in the off season, not having 10 classes you wanted because of when you got hurt last year.
Yeah.
How have you seen your own growth and maturity over the course, dealing with this, being in the gym early, having to focus on making sure your body is healthy, you're healthy, so that you perform the way that you want to?
Yeah. I mean, coming in last year, I had very high expectations for myself. I wanted to show that, I was ready to give more than just a standard defensively and rebounding type of person. But my body just wasn't where it needed to be, coming back from Israel. And I think that showed with me getting hurt, mid-season. So just a perspective of going through a rehab and understanding really more about my body. I've learned so much about my body, and, understanding that I have goals and expectations for myself, but I can handle things and put myself in a better situation that better prepares me for the moment that I'm trying to capture. So I think being through this injury and this rehab has prepared me the most. I can't say I wish it never happened. I honestly am grateful for this experience. I think it'll make me, 3 times the better player I was going to be coming into this year, if I was just going through another off season. So, I'm excited for the lessons that I was able to learn, as soon as possible, in regards to some people, might not learn these lessons until, 10th year, 11th year, things about your body, things that go into being prepared and, just being a pro overall. So I think it was perfect timing for, the role that I now have to take in the leadership aspect, and, just my mental preparation for just being a pro.
Hey, Kira, good to see you.
Good to see you.
You mentioned guarding fours defensively at times, and Mike mentioned that in free agency too. So just curious, kind of how much have you talked with the staff about kind of expanding your role, your position, and how much of an adjustment is that for you?
I'm just really excited to just be myself. I understood my role coming in here was different than, other rookies that were, landing on teams. And, I was fine with that role. It was what was needed and what was wanted and asked. But, naturally it's been shown that I can give more, regardless of the talks. And, I was like little bit trying to show it every now and then, just being a young kid, trying to show my talents. And I think with time and with another year and experience overseas, I think, everyone kind of understood that I could give more to this team, regardless of who was here. And I think this year, obviously, it folds a little differently. We have 2 starters that are gone. But regardless, my mentality was going to be to showcase what I can do that I felt I could do from the jump. So now it's just about, putting everything together, being a leader, showcasing that, I'm a pro and I'm showing up, doing the extra, and just leading by example. So
Just one more quick one. Eric mentioned yesterday how Latoya has kind of been with you this offseason and helped you. Can you kind of talk about kind of your routine with her and how she's been able to help you as you recover physically, mentally, emotionally, all that?
yeah, Toya has just, guided me through this new process, this new journey. She's understood what it's like being through this process. And she understands the highs and lows that come with it. So having someone with that experience, get me through my workouts where some days, I'm like, why can't I do this yet? Like, I feel great. Why are we still doing this dumb stuff? Like, and she can be like, Kara, listen, we're not there yet. Give it a couple weeks, be patient. And, she's just someone that I could talk to when it comes to stuff like that. And, just being realistic and just making sure that I'm thinking about the long term. Toya has been great with that. And obviously, like her workouts have just, progressed from the moment there where I couldn't jump. I could only do ball handling and stationary things to, now we're doing full court and I'm getting my conditioning, I'm getting my reps in. And, she's just been great with handling the rehab workouts. So.
Wanna check it out.
Hi, how are you?
All the best, all the very best this season.
Thank you.
With the W trending upwards the past couple of years.
Mhm.
What are your expectations from the DMV fan base this season?
You said from which fan
The
base?
DMV
Oh.
fan base.
I think they just have to invest into, what they want to see too. I think the DMV is very sports oriented. We have a lot of great players that have come out of here. The personality that comes with growing up playing in the DMV is very strong. And I think we have to get back to supporting our teams here. And I know it's been tough, in the past maybe. And, obviously people are just now tuning in more to the women's side. So we're still trying to catch up with that. But, we have a great team here. We have, fun basketball that's going on. And, the same way people would support the new and upcoming, college stars, we have stars right here, at ESA. So I think you just got to come out and watch a game, just support any way you can.
We'll take a question from Zoom. Brad.
Yes, hi, Shakira. How are
Hi,
you? Can
I'm
you
good.
speak of your inspirations and your motivations as you've been going through this recovery process? Who has really, let you shine in and out as a person as you're getting ready to come back on the court?
I think the one dependable thing I've had throughout this whole process is, my relationship with God. In reality, he's the only reason I'm practicing right now. He's the only reason I've come back from this and have the mentality that I still have more to prove and I still have more to show. So I thank my grandma for, she was on the phone with me pre-surgery, post-surgery. She almost didn't want me to get it. She was like, just throw some holy oil on you and you'll be all right. And I'm like, Grandma, I don't know if it's going to, sew this tear up. But, I truly can say it's my relationship with God. I've had a great support staff as well, with my trainers, with my coaches, with my family. They've been great. They've been, keeping me level-headed, keeping me looking at the future, regardless of how this year may go. but also understanding where I'm trying to go. So yeah, I can only thank, you know, my God and, you know, my family around me who's really just helped me see through this, that you know, I can get through this too.
Thank you. I got one last one for you. Eric was kind of talking earlier, obviously every year is a little bit different, you know, new pieces, so there's gonna be stylistic tweaks here and there.
Mhm.
I'm curious through this, I know it's still early and you guys are still developing all of this, but are there any specific things that you've seen in these early couple workouts or even last week that got you excited, think something that stood out to you that said, oh, we might be able to do this pretty damn well?
Well, shit, we running, so that's one of the best feelings. Is just being able to get up and down the floor at a fast pace. And I think we have young girls who are able to match that and, you know, allow us to be efficient in that. So that's one of the most things that I'm excited about is, you know, we can really get out in transition. Anybody can push the ball. And, you know, we don't have to slow things down for a specific play or to get the ball to a specific person. Right now, it's, you know, everybody can be aggressive, everybody can make the reads, and everybody can, you know, set up your teammate. So it's exciting to see, you know, an actual 5-on-5 team where everybody can be a threat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a good one.
Hello, Kareem Copeland again.
Hey, Kareem.
For your introduction. And I should probably talk into the mic. When did you get in? What has this early indoctrination been like? Have you gotten settled and seen the city and all that kind of stuff? How was this early portion of you know, just joining the team and getting the ball rolling been like for you?
It's great. I got in, I think 4-ish days ago, or maybe 5. So I've been here a little while. My mom came over with me. She's never been here before, so that was fun. I took her. We went to see the monuments and stuff. It was very nice on a bike. She was not walking all that way. So a motorized bike at that. So yeah. No, it's been lovely. Like, just I am settled. I unpacked, which I've actually never done before at training camp, so that felt really good. But yeah, no, the getting to know everybody, the facility is obviously amazing. So yeah, it's been a really good first. Nice to have a lead up actually before the first day of training camp.
Not just gonna step
Yeah.
in that very first day and try to figure out everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
What has been, what's been the biggest challenge, do you think? I mean, just coming back from overseas just a week ago, right? And then just jumping onto the court, but I guess physically speaking, it's probably pretty easy, but mentally, what does that feel like for you?
Yeah, that's a good question. Thank you. I got a week at home, which was really nice. I think I ended up being one of the last ones here actually, which is so nice that people can come in a little bit before training camp, and just to get a feel. Honestly, I'd say mostly emotionally for me. I was in London, like you said, and we won the championship, and it was just like we put everything into that season, and so what a high to have. But then I just leave my teammates, you know, a day later. It's very emotionally honestly draining, even though it was really good. So leaving my friends and my family that I had in England there, I kind of let myself process that for a few days at home, and then shut that down, gave myself some days to relax, to then start up a whole new season, to build with a whole new group of people. So I think mentally and emotionally that was just something I needed to do, but like that week was perfect for me, and I'm ready to be here.
Hi, Carly.
Hi.
Jen Hatfield with the Next. Welcome to DC.
Thank you.
Congrats on the contract. Just, you know, looking around at all the 3-point shooting here in DC and kind of the T-Bow's commitment to that over the years, like how exciting is that for you to come into, and what are you looking forward to about playing with so many shooters alongside yourself?
Oh, it's great. I mean, the more shooters, the better, the more space there is. I mean, basketball is about putting the ball in the hoop. So I think, like you said, we have a lot of shooters around. I think it helps each of us get even more open. And obviously you have Shakira inside that is a monster. So I think it's going to be really good. I want to continue my 3-point shooting, but also just help in different ways and get, like you said, we have a lot of other shooters, so help get them open as well. Morning. Hi.
Just a two-part. First of all, congratulations on the contract.
Thank you.
But just talk about building off last season and going into this also. Just what are some of your goals to not only improve on last year, but you know, how to tap into your potential, not just being here off the court, on the court, especially with a team that's with new faces.
Yeah. Thanks for that question. I was really proud of my year last year. I think for one of my first times being almost on the team for the whole season. I think that like I was pretty efficient, and I want to continue that, build on that. Both like in 3 different ways: threes, pull-ups, and near the rim. Get to the free throw line a little bit more because I'm pretty efficient at the free throw line. Lost my train of thought there a little bit, but no, I like this year. I think I want to bring. I'm kind of a vet now, which is funny to say, but just because I've been in and out of the league so much, but I do feel that, and I've played overseas for 7 years now. So I feel we have a young team, and we also have some older pieces as well. And I think it's a mix of experience. And like you said, it's very new, but also a core is still here. So I've always loved the way the Mystics have played. I like the way the T-Bows have run the team, and especially really tough defensively as a unit. And I think the best teams play together as a team on both sides of the ball, and that's my favorite style of basketball. So I think just bringing that and fitting in to work with the pieces that are already here, I think that's going to be fun. Hi. Hi.
The contract itself, you earned that contract with your team money. Curious from your perspective, is this a validation, a validation for you of being able to finally earn that after the long ride that you have?
It was free agency was a bit surreal for me. I've honestly never had one. And when Mike, Eric, and Maria came out to London to take me to dinner, I actually kind of found it hard to believe that it was happening until I saw them in person. So it definitely was validating. I felt very valued as the player that I am and what I can bring to the Mystics. Like I said, I was proud of my season last year with the Sparks, and I think there's just so many players out there that could play in this league, and it's so hard to make it. And I'm proud that I've never stopped trying, honestly, with how many times I've gotten cut. And I'd love to be an example for the younger generation that's coming in. Like, if you don't make it this year or in the next couple of years, it doesn't mean you can't play in the WNBA. It doesn't mean you're not good enough either, but there's always room to improve. And it's all about like that opportunity to get that spot, right timing, whatever it may be. But you can always improve whether you're in the league or not. And so I know that I've made this, I've gotten this contract, but you know, I'm still looking to improve every day. Basketball is a crazy journey, and it is validating. But I'd like to just be a testament to other people that are trying to do the same thing. Hi.
With regards to the defensive end, is that an area that you want to take those next steps, especially mentioning the way Mystics play on both ends of the floor, knowing that, you know, the offense for you, it is what it is. You know that you're a great scorer and shooter. It's the defense, those next strides that you want to kind of take in your career, not just in the W, but having that translate overseas as well.
Definitely. I feel like I'm very much a scout driven and system driven defensive player. I love playing on teams where we play as a unit, and obviously we have players like Slim and Ariel that are really, really great defenders, and then Shakira, rim protector. It's like we have so many pieces. So I definitely don't want to be a weak point. I want to add to it. I want to be ready to honestly do whatever the team needs and be active. But yeah, I would say I would love to take a next step in that regard. But yeah, I think I bring toughness and sometimes that people don't expect. So I'd love to continue that as well.
We'll go to Brad on Zoom.
Yes. Hi, Kali. Brad Lake, WNBA Swish. Congratulations on all your success overseas. Now that you're back here and you are vying for a spot, what specific parts of your game will you be working on? And besides making the team, what other goals do you have?
I love to say that I've made the team this year, which I'm very excited about. I got a guaranteed contract, so that is not on my mind this year, Brad, which is the first time ever. So that feels good. So in a way, I think that I'm taking training camp in a different, just a different perspective. And I think I'm from day one trying to figure out how I can fit on the team in the best way possible. And I think I've improved every overseas season that I go over to and every year, which is why one of the things that Eric mentioned why he wanted to bring me on the team is I am striving to get better. And that's just, I'm proud of my my pull-up game that I've added over the past couple years. Continue to work on my ball handling, just bringing different aspects, trying to become an all-around player and not just a shooter. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, thank you.
Yeah, around.
See you tomorrow. It's the first time ever. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna call it staff. Now we have. Staff will join us.
We're just chatting around.
It's fine.
Don't mind that. Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Yesterday we talked a little bit about, I asked, what you're trying to show early in this, and we talked a lot about effort and things like that. I'm curious, what's the challenge of, trying to find your way and do what you do? Also, Eric talked earlier about, hey, this is a bit of a work in progress as we figure out, who matches up well with each other. There's tweaks of how this team's gonna play because it's so different from last year. So how do you kind of blend all of that in together as a rookie who's been here for like a week?
Right. I think mentally right now I'm just trying to keep at the pace. Not only like the pace on the court, but I think just the process of kind of trying to learn everything within training camp these next 16 days before everything else speeds up. So as Coach E be saying, it's a very condensed season, condensed schedule. So as much as you can learn and pick up with these next few days, it's going to help you transition easier. So I think that's really what I've been trying to do, just concepts, terms. Personnel is always the hardest part because coming into a new team, you're trying to learn, okay, does Kira like to go here? What does she like to do? I'm trying to move with her on the court. So it's just little things like that I'm just trying to focus on so that the game can come easier to me. Thank you.
Hi, Leah.
Hi.
Just covering you last month.
Right, nice to see you again.
But what kinds of things will you carry over from your experience at UConn with a savant like Gino Ariema teaching you along the way, and what kinds of things will you carry over as a pro?
Yeah, I think Coach really prepared me for this pro lifestyle, not only on the court, but just how to handle yourself, like the treatment, the recovery, taking care of your body, all that stuff plays a big part into it. But I think the most thing that I'm going to take away is just, the standard that we held ourselves at UConn, just kind of carrying over that here to the Mystics. I know they have a great group already. We have a great core group of vets that I've been leaning on and learning from. So just bringing that standard, that excellence that I know for being a Husky, but into the Mystics lifestyle. Thank you.
Hi, Elliot. Jen Hatfield. We spoke on draft night, but
Hi.
5 years
A lot of
ago,
faces.
so I will reintroduce myself.
Thank you.
How's it been just, getting to know everybody, and is there a vet who's kind of been in your ear, especially often so far, like helping you along?
It's been great being here. Really happy I was able to come early. I think that really helped me adjust into the first day yesterday. In terms of vets, I think all of them have just been super helpful to me. I'm picking up pieces from each and every one of them. The words of wisdom that they're speaking into me has really helped. I'm just trying to be everywhere on the court, learning in any aspect that I can, and just enjoying the process and trusting the process, but also just trying to stay competitive. I think that's what I've been leaning on. I know my effort is always going to be there, but being a great teammate and staying competitive is really the things I'm going to hold myself to.
Good morning.
Morning.
Talking about transition from being a Husky, being Mystic, being Westbrook, Olivia Nelson, without it. Just how have they been in your words for you as now if you transition from UConn down to the pros?
Yeah, I mean, I really respect my seniors. My first 2 years at UConn, they were my seniors, and I learned so much from them, especially Kristen Williams too. We can add her into the pool. But yeah, I respect them because, coming into this process, into the W now, I'm a rookie again. So it's almost like the same type of leadership that I'm seeking through my vets and just trying to learn from them, asking lots of questions. But I think most importantly, just keeping true to who I am, bringing that fire, that drive, that passion to the court every time I step into it. They're telling me it's okay to make mistakes, but I think that the transition has been very well since coming from such a predominant excellent school like UConn. Just grateful for that opportunity and grateful to play under coach. And yeah, I'm super excited for this new journey and this new beginning. Thanks. Hi. Sorry? Ketchup chips. Yep. Thank you. Yeah. I said ketchup. I'm like, you sure you want to say that? But I got what you're throwing down.
How much have you picked the brains on Kia being similar situation coming from UConn into the W, but as well to utilizing their experience with the senior women's national team?
Oh my gosh, lean on her so much. She's such a big sister to me and a great mentor for me, transitioning from high school to UConn. She really was pivotal and just having me ask questions, seeing what I'm getting into, but really you don't really know what you're into until you're in it. So she's just a good guidance for me. And then this next part of the journey, it wasn't only her, it was a lot more people, which I saw that growth and that jump since we've been growing the game since I came as a freshman in college, and to look back and see how far we've come with the viewership numbers going up, with the growth to the W and the more awareness from not even women's basketball lovers, but we're converting a lot of people over to the women's game. So I'm just super grateful to be part of that. But it's also a lot more love from UConn alumni, from my senior women's national team, from even my country in Canada. So a lot more people I can tap into, a lot more resources. So I'm just grateful to be a part of that.
We had at UConn sometimes with Adrian, had to play out, played a lot of time. What's it like? I know it's on a little bit on this level. Just getting a chance to actually play the
I mean, first of all, grateful for no injuries because I've been battling the adversity for a while now. But I think, stepping into this new role, I don't have to cover up as much. I feel like, coming off last season, we had to play with 6, and it was like, you can't look down to the court for a sub. You got to go out there and do what you can each and every day. But, stepping into this role, I'm like, just trying to be a sponge wherever I'm needed, wherever my team needs me to help them be successful on either end of the court. That's what I'm going to do. So really just focusing on what I need to do and what I need to bring each and every day has been kind of like a good breath of just doing what I can do in the moment and not worrying about different thousands of things at the same time.
2 more questions.
Hi.
Insider, how are you?
Good. How are you?
It's nice to meet you.
Thank you.
I can imagine the last month plus has been a pretty big whirlwind for you, the tournament, draft, and now in training camp. Can you talk a little bit about how you've been able to slow things down to both appreciate what you've been going through, but also then be able to learn and take it all in and produce on the court?
I think that I've been leaning on my family a lot, just to kind of step away from basketball and just appreciate how far I've come and look back of just being grateful for the opportunity. But at the same time, I never want to slow down. I always want to be on go and be ready and be prepared. So I've been using my downtime. I mean, I'm still trying to finish school, but I've been using my downtime just to like watch film, tap into the ear of my vets, get to know the systems, get to know the identity of the team, so that whenever I'm called upon, just being ready for that. But training camps where it's going to develop, and first day was great, and hopefully we can carry that over to the second day. Thank you.
Yeah, you kind of touched on it, but just the excitement of women's basketball right now, and just how incredible is it to be a part of kind of this group in college, mixing with the Stars and the W, and having it all just come together at the right time, and your group is really in the center of it.
Right. I don't think it really soaked in until I went to New York and I was alongside my fellow draftees. You know, it's just a lot of great excellence in that room. I wouldn't call ourselves goats yet because there's lots of goats in the W, but like a lot of pivotal players who are pushing the game, and to call myself one of them is amazing. I didn't realize that my impact would be this great, you know, growing up, but now that I've gotten the platform and I'm able to help the next generation believe and inspire them that we can exceed boundaries. It's just amazing to be in that position, and especially coming from Canada, trying to encourage those who think that it may be more challenging to either get a scholarship or to play professionally. It's not impossible, so it can still be done. So I'm just trying to pave the way for those behind me, but also respect those who came before me and keep adding to it. Thank you. Thanks. Good to see you. I like the dress suit. Purple.
Thank you. There are two flavors that don't exist in the United States.
She was waiting for me. It's cool. Yeah, that's what I was really waiting for.
Girl, like duh.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Hey.
Let's start with you, Maisha.
Like dang. I got you. I'm ready.
Coming into this year, over the last couple of years, you know, sometimes, you know, you kind of had to fit in with so many kind of different pieces in the post and kind of, you know, adjust your game a little bit. Coming into this year with so many new faces and trying to figure out how you guys are going to play, I'm curious, how are you coming in? How do you want to kind of, first off, what have you kind of worked on coming into the season? And how do you want to kind of get your game off with these new pieces as you guys figure out how you fit together?
Yeah. So I just want to be aggressive coming into this season. Being aggressive can look like many different things. For me personally, when I say I want to be aggressive, I want to look for my shot, but also look for my teammates as well. I'm playing with great post player here that's able to like pass the ball really well. She sees the floor extremely well too. So and just like her terminology, I remember like the first time we were on the court, like she said a term and I was just like, wow, that's
Receding.
Yeah.
A receding screen.
And when y'all think of receding, okay, let me ask the room now, because you didn't have to tell me what to say. When y'all think of receding, don't you think of like a hairline and it's like going back? So like I'm like, girl, like why are you using that on like a basketball court? So like she had to break it down to me. But it's like little things like that where I'm excited about playing with her. And so she's gonna continue to teach me and, you know,
see if she listens.
I do, because
kidding, I'm
I
kidding.
will use set that receding screen and we're all gonna be on the same page. But no, I'm super excited about the post players that we have in. Aaliyah's super smart. Early on, like I was able to tell like she's gonna catch on extremely quick to how we play defensively. She's able to keep up. You know, you got Queen, you got Emily. So we have some great pieces. Can't forget Kira, because if y'all play this, she's gonna be mad that I don't say her name. But Kira's Kira, so it's like you know what you get with her. But I'm super excited about playing with this group of post players.
How did she break it down for you?
Me?
Steph with the receding.
We don't have to talk about that.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about it. Y'all heard her. I like that. Put your foot down. You ain't have to say the word, but it's cool. But seriously, all jokes aside, like when y'all hear receding,
It doesn't matter. It's fine. Move on.
Thank you. I was gonna keep explaining.
I was just trying to give it context, but
They didn't need that
all
part.
right.
It's okay.
Appreciate you like always.
Thank you. Receding.
Oh my God.
Set a receding.
Anyway, next was
Steph, welcome back.
Thank you.
To DC. What have you seen as the biggest difference in the WNBA stylistically from your rookie season to now?
I mean, everything. There's a lot of differences. I think when you just think about the season as a whole, the way it's kind of scheduled with the Commissioner's Cup now, the way playoffs are, everything's different. And then now you add on the last few years of just the rise in fans and exposure and investment in the league and in the teams is something that has been a long time coming, obviously, but I think it's exciting to know that it's, better late than never. People have their own facilities now and their own arenas, and it's just awesome to see the growth that the game has had in the last 10 years or so. And I'm just excited to see, where it keeps going.
Hi,
Hey, girl.
Hey, Steph.
Hey.
Jen Hatfield with the next. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I want to ask each of you about a newcomer on the team, a different one. Steph, I'll start with you. Wanted to ask you about Aaliyah. It's another UConn alum, another number 6 pick. How much did you know her before, and what are you looking forward to most about having her around?
Yeah, I don't know her super well. I had been to a decent amount of UConn games, but we've definitely probably met a few times in passing and been to a few practices, but I've just seen her game, and Gino's taught her everything that he's taught me as a post player at UConn, and to know that we're kind of cut from the same cloth and we've been taught the game the same way. It's easy for me to relate to her and to teach her different things that now I've learned within being in the league now for 10 years. So I'm excited for her, kind of young, sprite self. That's a word, right? See,
When I think of Sprite, I think of the soda, so I wouldn't have used that one.
But Sprite is a thing, yes? Am I
Are y'all thinking
correctly?
soda?
See?
You were thinking soda. Don't do that.
Sprite. That's a normal
he
thing to
said yes,
say.
he said yes.
Anyway,
y'all were thirsty.
Anyway, she's excited to learn, and I'm excited to hopefully teach her and just see her growth as well. I can never
Don't
do this
ever
to you.
tap me for like oh, am I using the correct word? Because
Because
I'll make up my words. Okay.
Clearly, I can't.
Don't.
Watch my vocabulary with you.
Yeah, please, and keep it small. Okay.
I want to ask you about Julie. I know you guys played together overseas.
Yeah.
Just, what was it like playing with her, and how do you think she's going to, fit in on this team?
Awesome. Like she's an amazing point guard. She sees the floor extremely well. She passes the ball extremely well too. I'm excited for her to get here. Like this long time coming for her. What she 30 something? Or is it 31? Damn. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Don't say damn. I'm 32. See?
Oh my bad. We got a lot of 30s. My bad.
No, we actually have 2 30s. That's it.
In the room.
Oh yeah. Keep up. These young guys. They keep me young. They keep me young.
No, but seriously, I'm super excited about the opportunity that she has in front of her. I remember, well, I didn't know I was going to break the news to her, but I ended up breaking the news to her overseas that she was coming to training camp here, and she just started crying, and I was like, girl,
Aww.
yeah, it was all, but I'm like, girl, you're lying, right?
How did you find out?
Exactly. Eric and Coach T told me like they were coming to town. Oh, let's get dinner. Bring Julie. I'm like, oh, heck yeah. They were like, yeah, we're inviting her to training camp. I'm like thinking like, of course she knows, right? Like they're giving me confidence to tell her. And yeah, she didn't know for sure. So like I broke the news to her, but yeah, she started crying and I did a little tear too. Cause I was like, oh my goodness. Like it was definitely like a soft moment. And I think it was right before a game too. So that got awkward. But we got right back to it and we won that game. But yeah, no, Julie's a great person. And I can't wait to play with her again.
She giving you lots of assists with overseas.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that 2-man game with me and her. Steph, you'll get into it, don't worry. But yeah, that 2-man is crazy.
Don't worry.
All right. You
I've been there already. I'm
It's
already getting it.
All right, now dang.
Guys, we're all on the same team here, okay?
Yes. Go Mystics.
Never put me in here with her again. I cannot handle this.
She loves it.
I thought I was unserious, but you are actually unserious.
Yeah. As long as you know.
Yeah.
No, all jokes aside.
Okay, anyone else? Yeah, this isn't just us. This isn't a show.
It actually is.
Exactly.
Is this how it always is? With this one?
Yeah, I said, girl, who? You hope you better not go with me.
This one's for you, Maisha. Just with a lot of new faces on the team this season and understanding the culture and the expectations from Coach Tebow and GM Tebow, what are your expectations for what this team will look like stylistically with all of the new faces and pieces and the things that the players can do?
I don't think it'll change defensively for us. We were talking about that yesterday in film. We're not trying to change anything defensively. We've been the same defensive team for 6 seasons, 6 seasons. So that's not going to change. Offensively, of course, it's going to look different, but we have a lot of great players who are able to pass the ball, score the ball in different ways. So on the offensive side, I think it'll be like a lot of moving pieces. And I don't think one night, I think it'll be different every single night of who's scoring the ball, the high score or whatever. But I think on the offensive side, it'll look a little more different. But for the most part, defensively, we're same identity. We're going to get into teams every single night and look to push the pace. Hey. Oh, yeah, I got a little
and
insider.
Good to see you as well.
Cute.
As both of you are veteran players, I'm curious, what does a veteran player do that we don't necessarily understand from the outside? Whether it's something from when you were younger or now as veterans.
I think just bring the team together in different ways. I think everyone has different personalities, and for me, being a leader is understanding those personalities. That's what I try to do, is understand my teammates and just see how I can best lead them. And I think people don't always see that side of it. It's kind of like, oh, who's yelling, who's talking, who's working as hard. It's like I do or leaders in general, being a good leader, you want to do all of those things, but you also want to learn your teammates, and everyone learns differently and wants to be coached in a different way. And I think that's something that people don't necessarily see is something that makes a good leader.
That was great.
I'm sorry to be Maisha. You outside of study, but outside you, Tori and Ariel, you guys are the longest tenured on the roster. Just what has the conversations been like with Eric in terms of not only one setting the tone night and night on the court, but just tapping into your potential?
Being the longest tenured, you say?
On the roster.
I think we know what he wants. He doesn't have to tell us every single day in practice, game, whatever it is. Like, we've been here, when he was assistant coach and now as a head coach. So like, we already know what to expect from him and what he wants us to do, like, on the court. And then again, we're bringing in great pieces who are great leaders in their own way. So it's only going to make us better.
And then Steffi, this is your 10th.
Steffi,
that's cute. Hey, girl.
Only Queen calls me that, and my niece.
Steffi. I like that one.
It's a full circle moment for you. Draft year 2014, but your 10, what would you consider your why?
Oh God. Honestly, no, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. It's crazy.
My why?
My camera.
Honestly, just my goals, like in life. I've always wanted to be in the league before, when I was in high school. Making the league was a goal of mine, and being here and being able to now get into my 11th season, and being on the team that I started it with was a special opportunity for me personally. And I'm excited to be here. And yeah, I mean, obviously achieving my goals every day that I get to play basketball. So just grateful to always step on the court.
If I can ask a follow up, also Bria came with you in the threat thing as well. She's with Vegas this season. Just how have you guys kind of looked at this as when we started, coming out of UConn, but now we're still in the league, leaving our footprint.
Yeah, I think for me, it's I can't speak for Bria, but I know she's happy to be back in the league and have that opportunity with Vegas. She's had her ups and downs with injuries for sure, and I'm sure, I know Bria's just a baller. She always just wants to play and compete. So I'm really happy for her, and for me, some people are in the league for 1 year, 2 year to 15 years. So I'm just happy to still be playing and do it in a city that I love. Thanks.
Thanks, Deb.
Thank you.
With a
Oh, thank you.
I look like a goat. Ooh, yeah. I bet you need a
Some sun.
tan. Oh, I need a tan.
What's up, y'all?
What's going on?
Let's
What's going on?
let's start where, just what's the feel and vibe, or, so many changes, different faces,
Yeah.
different roles coming in, and you've been here and seen it all for so many years. Just curious, what's the vibe out there? What's the different, how does it feel different this year?
Yeah, I feel like if it doesn't feel much different, but it's like how do I say it? Because it always feels good coming back to DC for me. So I still have that great feeling, that excitement that I feel on the court. But I will say for me, as far as like competing, I don't know if I've felt the level of competitiveness that I felt yesterday on our team in other training camps. Like we're really going at it. Like there's just a different level of just, I don't know if it's one, I don't really know how to describe it, but like, I mean, it's a good feeling though. Like we're really going after it this year. But it's starting in practice. It's a really good feeling. Really good feeling. Yeah, sure.
Hey, Tori.
Hey, Jen.
Actually,
Hi.
Jen Hatfield with the Next. I'll start with you and then go over to Tori. But Maisha was just in here and she told us the story of how she broke the news to you that the Mystics were going to sign you to a camp contract.
Correct.
So just, what was it like hearing that you were going to get to come over and what excites you most about being over here, even as you're balancing all sorts of national team stuff?
Yeah, I remember that moment too because my agent talked about it. He was like, "Yeah, the Mystics, they might sign you, blah blah blah." And then Maisha had a talk with the coaches, and she told me, and I was like, "Are you joking?" She was like, "No, Julie, like it's for real. Like you can start like thinking about it. Like you're coming with me to DC." So it was a special moment. Like everybody knows that I've been waiting for a long time for this moment. It's a dream come true. I know that I'm in the middle of also very important national team stuff. The Olympics are coming, but I've been playing for the national team for so many years that I know how to play with them. I don't need 6 weeks of preparation to know how to play with Emma and everybody else. It's how you say, an oiled machine is how we say it in Belgium. So they know, the Belgium national team know this is a dream for me to be here. So they support me 100% in this journey. And yeah, I'm just like I said, I'm super glad to be here.
Did you talk to like Emma or Kim to prepare to come over?
I talked with Emma for sure, but she told me this is the perfect place for you. You're gonna fit in. It's a family. It's a great organization for you to come for your first time in the league. So she told me only positive things about Washington. I think that Emma, for Emma, Washington has a very special place in her heart, if not her whole heart. So she loves it. So she was very excited for me that I come here.
Tori, one for you, and then I'll stop talking. Mike, just looking at your stats in Turkey, you lit up that league. How was it, over there? What do you feel like you improved on, and kind of how do you carry that over here?
Yeah, Turkey for me personally, I think is one of the harder leagues in Europe. And it was a great challenge for me. And I just wanted to see how I would do. I feel like coming from Israel, with Turkey being a stronger league than Israel, just to see how I would do. But I also always like to go overseas and just add things to my toolbox because I like to be versatile, add more versatility to my game when I come here and just do whatever the team needs me to do, whether that's defense or rebounding or being a scoring punch or adding more pace to the game. So I think that's like one thing I tried to continue to add, just that versatility piece.
Tori,
how you doing?
Good. This question is for you. I asked Ariel Maisha this question, but you three being the longest tenured on the roster, just what is the conversation with Eric in terms of one setting the big tone setters? Obviously last year being out there off the bench, but this year more tapping into your potential and just being the leaders that we know that you're capable of being for this team.
Yeah, I feel like naturally, I'm a leader by example. But I think that my next step in that leadership role is being more vocal, and not just showing, but also telling, and just adding that piece to having them go hand in hand. Will be like my next step. And I think I think Ariel is also a leader by nature. Maisha is a leader by like her jokes. So, you know, we all have our different lanes, and there's different ways that, you know, we can kind of like bounce off each other. But I mean, we have a great group. I mean, we've had great groups. We have a lot of new faces, but still a great group. But I think that's like my next step. And I think that's where we can bounce off each other.
I love this. What are your goals for this season?
Playoffs, first round, second round, and definitely championship. It's not going to be easy. This league is loaded. I don't want to call them kids, but this draft was loaded. So it's not going to be an easy road at all. And I'm super excited for our league. But the playoffs, next round, championship for sure. Yep.
So 2 more.
I have a quick question. How do you see your game translating here to WNBA and here with the Mystics?
That's a great question, because I've always played in Europe. I've played with the national team. I'm also I can play 2 positions pretty well. I can be a true point guard, but I can be a position 2 if they need me to, and be more of a shooter. I know that my game is. We talked about it, Shatori and I, about this a lot. Like, my game is very it's wide, I would say. Like, I can pass, I can shoot, I can bring speed. Like, I think that my my way of playing, my style of playing can be great for this team and for the league. Like, a lot of people have been telling me, like, you belong here, you can do this, you can do it. Like, so I hope my style of playing the fans will love it. I hope they give me the chance, and I can show what I can do. And I think that when I played against Team USA in February, you can get a good look of me playing against American players. Like, I can play, I can shoot, I'm not afraid. I don't play with fear. I play with confidence. I know what I can do. I know what I can't do. Like, I'm a rookie, but I have a ton of experience, and I know what my limits are, and I know what I can bring for this team. And that's why I've been so ready for this chance to finally show what I can do. And I know that I can do so much things. So I just hope that I get my chance, and I'm able to show it. So yeah.
That's great. And just to follow up, how was it developing chemistry with Maisha?
my
You just say her name and everybody just starts laughing.
She's a ray of sunshine. Like, she brings energy to a room. Overseas, it's not always easy for the people that coming from America to come to, like, go to Turkey and play. She just always, like, try to get everybody together, hang out outside of the court. Like, I build a chemistry with her also off the court, and it just naturally came on the court. Like, she's such a mobile player, and I love playing with mobile players. And she pushed me to be a little more in that dog mentality. She was telling me, Julie, you're too nice. If you want to come to the league, can't be that nice. She was like, you can't. Like, she really, like, pushed me to say, hey, like, come on, you and me, stop playing now, let's go. Like, you know, she pushed me to take responsibility. She pushed me to say, like, hey, when it's clutch time, the ball needs to be in your hands and nobody else's hands. Like, don't walk away from the play. Like, she really pushed me to be a better player, and I'm forever thankful, because Maisha is definitely a big reason why the Mystics saw potential in me to come here this year to help the team out. I'm 100% sure that Mai is a big part of that.
Hi, Julie. Hi, Shatori.
What's going on?
Shatori, for you as a veteran, what is it that veteran players do that we from the outside may not understand? Whether it was something that was done for you when you were younger, or what you're doing now for players like Julie who are just coming into the league. What do veterans do that we may not understand?
So I was fortunate enough to have some great vets, Hall of Famers, the Elena Delle Donne, the Christy Tollivers, Alicia Clarks. And what they did was, it seemed like they honestly did everything right, but they were also very consistent in what they did. And that's kind of like how I learned. I learned by looking. I don't know if that's a visual learner. I think it is. But when I see Elena doing recovery every day, Tiana Hawkins getting up shots every day, not taking a day off, Alicia Clark watching 2-3 hours of film every day, like, that's what I saw. And it was not just one game, 2 games, it was the consistency of it. And so that's what I strive to be, taking different things from all the great vets that came before me, doing that, but consistently doing it to show the way. That's what I think that means.
Switching to the Zoom.
We'll go to Brad for a question on Zoom. Last question.
Yes, hi ladies. With the
Hello.
international presence and all the great players that the league and the teams have been scouting, there were some high draft picks of international players. For both of you, how does that feel that the international presence is growing and that these players are going to be making major contributions to the W?
You want to go first? International? You want me to go first?
Yeah, go first.
Okay. Over when I mean, just since going overseas, that's when I kind of had like my first true, dose of overseas play, and it was just a different level of just basketball IQ. So for me, I'm not surprised. I'm surprised that it's taken this long, to have, more and more Europeans come, because I mean, the basketball IQ is nothing that I've ever been around. I mean, obviously there's great basketball IQ here in America, but just the style of play is just, I mean, even just like looking at the NBA, just like who's dominating. So for me, like EuroLeague and Euro Cup, for me, it's just it's not a surprise of what the draft is doing, and it's a direct correlation of even like the success of the players that come over here.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that. I think us as our Belgian national team is a great example of like how we play in Europe and how our style of playing is. It's just team basketball. Obviously Emma Miesemann played here before, and she's just the example of how how European players kind of like, how I would say, born and raised kind of like that. You just it's just pass, like keep moving the ball, like it's how they drill it. That's how we drill it in Belgium too. And it's just great to see that she had such a big impact in DC, and that other international players have been having more and more impact in the WNBA. I think or the NBA, like Tori said. I think it's a beautiful match to have international players and American players just see that difference they bring on the court, So yeah, that's been great.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
This early startup camp been like for you? New team, new
Hmm.
faces, getting just kind of working yourself into the entire organization. What has these? Well, first off, when did you get here, and then what has the last week or so been like for you?
I got here April 10th. Like I haven't left since April 10th, so I'll say April 10th. I did like a couple like in and outs before that, but April 10th officially. And the first week of camp has been really good actually. It's been cool to get to know my teammates, and I think we're on a great team where like we all kind of have like high quality character. We all have the same kind of common goal, which of course is to win and get better every single day. So it's cool to be in a workout and a practice where like we're all competing at the highest level. We're all trying to push each other, and then you have coaches, like, because that plays a big part in getting to know a team as well. And I think our coaches are amazing. Like I really love every single coach from top to bottom. I get to be reunited with Shell P my rookie year. She was in New York, so it's cool to see her. And I don't know, I think I'm learning a lot from Toya, Ash, and E. And so it's really cool to sit here and be brought into the team that kind of is going through a rebuild period where I can kind of figure myself out and find like and build off the foundation that I kind of laid in overseas in Australia, honestly.
Shelly's a good person.
I love Shelly.
Yeah.
Love Shelly.
Red loves Shelly.
Didi, can you assess the evolution that you've seen in yourself from your collegiate injury to this moment today?
I think the evolution is kind of insane to kind of think that far, but to condense it a little bit, I think even from last year, I think I've been dealing with injuries the last 3 years. I've been in the W for 3 years. Like I've been dealing with injuries every single year. And that's why one of my biggest goals is honestly to finish the season healthy. Like, let's just finish a whole season. But evolution from even last year, I was crying about that yesterday, just kind of replaying and thinking about where I was and what kind of place I was in last year around this time. It's kind of beautiful to kind of see that every day I wake up and I do a devotional, or every day I kind of find a way to talk to God as much as I can. I think this it was, for a long time I was trying to avoid talking about injuries and talking about my mental place and where I was while being injured, where now it's something that I'm kind of grateful for, because without being in the place that I was and without going through the injuries, would I even be on this transformation of phase of, not even a phase, really just transformation and growth period of just finding God and finding my spiritual journey that I'm on right now. Thank you.
Hi, Dee. Jen Hatfield with the next.
Hello.
Welcome to DC. Just what have the conversations been like with the staff about, what role they're looking for you to play this season, and have any of the vets been particularly helpful in just helping you settle in?
Hi, Egbo girl.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen.
So I literally try to leave me by myself, but I think the beauty behind me and my game, and E is really trying to, Coach E is really trying to put that in my head, is just living off my versatility and building off my ability to kind of play each and every position, my ability to guard each and every position. So for when it comes to role, I don't think he's been super like, this is what I want you to do. It's kind of like, I want you to do this, this, that today, and then tomorrow we'll do this, this, and that, and then next day we'll come back to day one, and then we'll all edit in together. And I'm like, my head, I'm gonna freaking explode. But hey, I'm really grateful for a coach that kind of can see beauty in my versatility instead of being intimidated by it,
Hey, Queen, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I saw you went over to China in February, played a little bit overseas. Can you just kind of talk us through what that experience was like, how it helped you, and how you're feeling heading into training camp now?
I feel like China kind of forced me to grow up in a lot of ways, just because I was by myself in a foreign country where, a lot of people don't really speak English. And just having to like find out who I am as a player, as an athlete, as an individual. So I feel like China was really good for like my personal growth, but also like my growth on the floor, just because I was able to expand my game over there. You're the only American or import on the team, and so they expect a lot out of you. And so I feel like because of that, I was able to rise to the occasion and do things I probably wouldn't have been able to do in another country, and just expand my game.
I know that's right, girl.
Hello, I'm good.
So last year, obviously, you were traded.
Mhm.
And you kind of dealt with injury. Just number one, how did you get through the injury? And then, what has the conversation been with Eric in terms of not only you playing alongside now Aaliyah, but last year we got to see a little bit with Shakira. Just what has been your goals this year, and what has Eric and the coaches have helped you to tackle the potential?
I would say, well, first, I spent a lot of time doing rehab in the off season with my knee and just getting it stronger. And so I feel like that was honestly the biggest concern, was just making sure that my knee can handle the amount of games we're gonna play, how fast we're gonna play them. And so everything else has kind of been like easy going, honestly. I feel like Coach E does a really good job of not putting too much pressure with you and just letting things kind of flow within the system. I started playing more alongside Aaliyah, and I feel like, she's a really good add-on to the team, just because she has that versatility. She can do a little bit of everything, and she has a good basketball IQ. And so just trying to figure out what we like to do with each other and trying to grow that chemistry. But Eric hasn't said anything that's like super, I want to say, black and white in terms of like, you need to do this or you need to do this with this person. I think that's the beauty of like being on this team, is like you get the opportunity to make reads and play with people and alongside of people and play off everyone's strengths.
Hi, thanks.
My question is, you've been on several teams throughout your career, professionally. What is the leadership of this team in the locker room kind of look like? It's kind of being in charge and emerging as that leader for like a year.
I think it's pretty obvious and easy to say Ariel is a really great leader. I think she's been here for one of the longest. She won a championship here. I think Ariel is great because she is a vocal leader, but also quiet. It's like she kind of appeals to both sides of the room. And I think that's huge in being a leader, is just being able to appeal to each and every person on your team. And I think she does a good job at that. I think Mai is a really great leader as well. Somebody that's just like has a feel for the room, a feel for the coaches, and just laying the land out. I think Tori does a great job. We have a lot of leaders. We have great leaders. It's a great locker room. So I think that's the beauty behind this team, is that we are led by just people that have been here, done that. And so I think it's cool to be on a team like that.
Thank you. Can I
Oh.
quick, sorry, you know, you're talking about China and the way your game expanded, and so I'm curious, of that growth, what are you most proud of?
I would say I'm most proud of my ability to knock down outside shots. There's a lot of WNBA players who played in China, so getting to play against like JJ and AT and players like that, and being able to knock down that shot consistently, I feel like definitely gave me confidence coming into this season, just because I know what I'm capable of and I know what I can do, and just translating that here. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for joining eventually, Lisa.
I tried.
Welcome both of you.
Thank you.
Kareem, Colton, Washington Post. Just what's this first week been like for both of you, as you know, you're here in camp and in just trying to figure out this organization, you know, W life, training camp, all of these things. So just curious what the opening week has been like for you two.
You wanna start? It's it's kind of different. Definitely different from college. I mean, you do everything on your own. Making sure that you got to be where you are, on time, early. I'm kind of juggling training camp and school, so it's like right when I come from training camp, I got to go do my homework. Or, yeah, I've been telling my teammates that all week. But, yeah, it's a pretty not too much of a hard adjustment, but you know, just trying to get into the swing of things, and you know, just trying to get comfortable.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat with honesty. I'm juggling school and also like just with adjusting to the schedule and you know, the style of play and the pace of the game. So it's been good. The vets and the returners have been welcoming and just very open to just teaching us the ropes, and we're trying to be a sponge and learn everything that we can from them.
Honesty, just tactically speaking, what will carry over for you at the professional level?
I want to say letting it fly when I'm open, playing defense. You know, basically that's it. I mean, I'm really aggressive on defense, and I feel like that's what this team is about. So I feel like I'll be bringing a vital piece in. And you know, just taking my shots, sharing the ball. That's also what I love to do. I feel like I'd be able to do that here. So.
And I covered you in the tournament, and what did that experience afford you coming in with that level of confidence?
It just, I don't really know. I mean, I feel like it prepared me. Because you know, the next level is it's the next level. Like, you know, a lot of things are going to be different. The intensity is going to be higher. So just getting that sneak peek, I feel like it prepared me.
Hi, Jen Hadfield with the Next. You know, for both of you, Kaylin, you kind of talked about how the vets and the returners have been helpful. Anyone in particular that you know, that's like kind of taking you under their wing, or that you want to hit up for advice?
I will say just everyone. I share a car with Didi, so like, and I know Didi. We grew up playing ball against and with each other, and then you know, just asking her what her experiences are from training camp because she's been here, and then like at the New York training camp and what to expect. But I've been asking everyone around, and like even Slim, I just asked her because she's been here for a very long time. She's a vet and she knows like what's expected and what the standards are. So just to, you know, be open, and again, like not just to one person, but I know a lot of people have shared experiences.
I could say the same thing. I mean, everybody is willing to, you know, help us rookies out, show us the ropes.
If we have a question, we can literally come up to anybody and ask, and they'll help us and they'll get us prepared, or just let us know, hey, this is gonna happen, or they'll yell at us. I think we got yelled at. Did we get yelled at by Slim the other day? At least I think I got yelled at by Slim the other day, but you just gotta take it in, and you have to listen to her. She's a vet. So yeah, everybody has been helpful towards us.
What you do to get yelled at?
She had made this nice pass and I kind of got stuck. It was like, wow. And I still had to get back on defense, and yeah, she yelled at me for that. Love her though, but yeah.
What was the advice you got from Slim as a fellow?
It was just the play. I think we ran it right the next time, but it was we were going over a concept in the beginning of practice, and then like during the scrimmage we were doing it wrong, and she just told us we can't be doing we can't make mistakes 2-3 times, like we got to fix it on the second time.
Yeah, she just challenges us a lot, and I feel like we appreciate that. So.
Just a quick one for both of you. Which basketball players do you look up to growing up?
Candace Parker. Yeah. Candace Parker, Kyrie Irving were my main two. So
for the Asian community, it was like Jeremy Lin, Yao Ming, and then I grew up watching Skylar Diggins at Notre Dame. And it was just amazing to see her, what she was doing in her collegiate career.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Cool.
Thank you.
Right. I saw you on the thing. I was like, oh.
Hey.
Can't get rid of cold. How are you both doing?
Yeah.
We're doing good.
I'm gonna start with you. You're here in camp last year, kind of been through this kind of experience. What is, I don't know if what is different this year, or how is the experience and process going, having done it specifically in this building before, and additionally over this last year, how have you just grown since you were in camp at this point last year?
Yeah, I would say that coming back to the same camp has made it a lot more. I'm a lot more comfortable. I have a lot more experience as a professional athlete. I think the main thing that I'm bringing this year that I would say I've grew is confidence. I mean, there's always room to work on your confidence, but I would say that I have a lot more of it. And my growth offensively has been something that I've been working on, and I did a little bit of that in the AU season. So I'm hoping to be able to display that here with them in camp.
Real quick, your first camp. What are you trying to put on film? What are you trying to? What are the biggest things that, as you're going through practices, that you want to show this coaching staff?
Yeah, I just want to show the coaching staff that that I'm a hardworking player, just trying to do all the little things, like wherever I can fit in, whether that's just playing defense, just getting rebounds, or running the floor hard, spacing the floor, and just doing anything that I can to contribute to the team.
Did you an Elite Eight run with NC State, and then going to Maryland last year? What have you kind of encapsulated from those experiences on the collegiate level, and how would you carry that over to the WNBA?
Yeah, definitely from those Elite Eight games and being in the tournament, it just teaches me, that I have that experience of playing at a high level, and just during those games, having those little things like playing defense or rebound and run the floor, it definitely translates to the professional level. So it's good. It's good that I had that experience.
Hi, Jen Hatfield with the Next. Emily, good to see you again. Good to meet you. For both of you, what kinds of discussions have you had with the coaching staff about what they're looking for from you? And, when you guys look at this camp, what are some things that you do that you feel like, you alone bring, or that make you stand out?
I would say something me and Coach E have spoken about is getting a rebound and just bringing the ball up the court, always sprinting and running the floor, taking shots when I'm open. He's been instilling confidence in me in that way, and it's something that he wants me to do if, I become part of the Mystics. So it's definitely good pointers for me, and I try to grow and consistently do it every day in camp. So
Oh, yeah, I guess for me, just talking to Coach E, just being myself, I know I'm coming straight from college, but just being who I am and spacing the floor, shooting the three, like shooting the ball when I'm open, and just spacing the floor is one of the things that I want to work on and hope to contribute to the team.
Emily, for you, how much did that Athletes Unlimited experience, help you in any way, coming into this, like confidence, skill wise, any of that?
yeah, I think the main thing about AU that I took away from it was you got to play with a bunch of WNBA players, right? So, but it's in a different atmosphere / setting. It's a little chiller, and you get to know them a little better. And it makes, not saying that the game was more fun, but it allowed for everyone to kind of be themselves a little more with a lot less pressure. You're already there. You're going to be there for those 5 weeks, no matter what happens. And that was fun for me because now coming back to the league, one, I feel like I have a lot more friends in the league, which is always lovely. But and there were some genuine relationships, which I appreciate. But I just feel like that makes me feel more comfortable. So I think being comfortable for me is something that needs to be in order for me to play a little better. So I'm grateful for it.
All of you both.
Hey,
Insider, really good to see you again. For you, you're born in Maryland, you finished your collegiate career out in Maryland, and obviously now here in DC. What would it mean for you to be able to make team play here at the DMV?
Yeah, it would mean everything to me, I've always dreamed of, playing for Maryland and also playing for the Mystics one day. So just having this opportunity, I'm just so grateful for it. And I'm just ready just to take it day by day and just be grateful for the moment that I have right now.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
guys. Appreciate y'all. Have a good day.
Right. We come over. Look at you. I'm so proud of you.